Hello, innovators. Welcome to this podcast, Cappuccino Podcast, where we invite innovation leaders to share their thoughts, their innovation-driven stories, and why not, their vision for the next couple of years. Today's episode is a special one because there's many reasons, and the top of those reasons is our guest. But I can list also the fact that we are here in the studio, this exciting studio of Last Story that we thank for the charm welcoming. Another reason is that it's the first time I'm doing a podcast outside of France, here in Morocco, and more specifically Casablanca, one of most known cities in entrepreneurship worldwide, and especially in Africa. And speaking of Africa, our guest today is one of the most known tech entrepreneurs, not just in Africa, but in the world. He is, speaking of Africa, he is an Africa startup builder, ecosystem builder since 2001. And also, speaking of startups, he also invests in startups as a business angel. Mehdi ALAOUI, welcome to Cappuccino Podcast.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm glad to be with you today. And thank you for this excellent introduction.
You're welcome. So first question first, how are you today?
Yeah,
how do you feel?
I'm fine. Pretty excited about what we are willing to discuss today. As you know, I'm in the innovation ecosystem for the last 20 years. So whenever we have to talk about that, I'm extremely excited to see how and where this discussion will, embark us.
Yeah, I've been following you since like 2010 or 2011, and every single time I see you in interviews, one of those exciting interviews I saw in is in CNN. They present you as in three dimensions. The first one as a tech entrepreneur, because of your exciting adventure at Silicon Valley and here in Morocco, and also as a business angel, and finally as an ecosystem builder, startup ecosystem builder. So we're going to go through in this podcast through these three dimensions. So let's start with the first one, the starting point as a tech entrepreneur. Can you tell us a bit about this journey and how it started?
Yeah, definitely. As you know, I started my first startup on 2001. I was at that moment a student. So I had a chance to start it in a field of the mobile application. At that time, the mobile phone was black and white, and it was like I think less than 2 inch.
Yeah.
And I had a chance when I was a student that a company called Siemens and Java Microsystem, they came to our class and they proposed us to participate to a contest of mobile application. So I take the brochure, I study the concept, and finally I decided to push my idea to their platform. But as a student at that time, I didn't have enough time to work on the prototype. So they called me after that and they say, we like the idea. The application is still open, so you still have 2 days to push your prototype. And at that moment, I decided to work on it during a weekend. It was my first hackathon.
Okay, your own hackathon.
Yeah, exact. And what was very interesting is I had a chance to discover this world of mobile application and the fact that we can develop something and see it on a mobile phone. So this phase helped me to understand the potential of this ecosystem. And I decided to work on this category of technology for the next decade at that moment. So my first startup was in Paris. It was a platform, a dating platform, like Meetic or Tinder, but more adapted to the mobile phone at that moment. If you remember, this mobile phone was like, we had like 9 touch, no touch screen, and we had to to play small games like Shifumi.
Yes.
And at any time when you win a point, you get an information about the other player.
Okay.
So it was very fun, and it was my first startup. We had the chance to get like, I think, 50,000 users after 2 years that use this platform. And from that moment till today, I create definitely, I think, more than 10 startups. I think I fail on the majority of them.
Okay.
But I succeed on a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that you founded your first company at the age of 21, and the last one was at the age of 42, right?
Exactly.
So, so obviously you're a perfect example of it's never too late to start a business or to build ventures.
Yeah.
So, let's start from the end. What are your first advices that comes to your mind right now for those idea holders in universities and outside world that want to take their challenges into reality?
Yeah, of course. If I come back to my first experience, I was working with my co-founder, alone, without discussing our concept with other actors of the ecosystem. We was not, going to different events. We were just, in our office working on the idea and try to enhance it. So for me, this is my first advice is, to go out, to speak with other people, to share the idea, the concept, to talk with the other entrepreneur. So it's extremely important. You know what? Because when I started this business in 2001, having 50,000 users after 2 years on a platform on mobile at that moment, it was just crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
If you remember, Facebook came on 2007.
Right.
And Facebook came on web sites, not on mobile.
On mobile, yeah.
So you can imagine that if we was more perseverant and resilient at that moment, maybe we don't know. So this point is very important. We need to go out to speak with people and to go to incubator, to go to accelerator, and to share what we have. It's extremely important. Another thing is, at that moment, I didn't understand that there's business model based on, the money that we generate from an application, and also other business model based more on the community. Let's first create the community,
Okay, yeah.
Then we can raise money, then we can generate value added and money after that.
Right.
So in my first venture, I just see that the number that we had was not enough good, and we decided to stop it because it was not enough good. So this is one of my first mistake. And if we were going to different incubator and events, we will have a chance to discuss with other entrepreneurs and understand, different situation that help us to do less mistake.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and that's why not all inventors are innovators. Actually, few examples are outside, like Kodak, who knew by his own to take his invention into the market to transform it into something useful as an innovation. And I like the way you talk about ecosystem and community, And innovation nowadays is not just about it's about connecting dots, but not just connecting the tech with the trend or the market need, but also connecting people, as you mentioned. And personally, I host and I monitor an ecosystem and community of C-level and directors where we co-share in a private space thoughts, because we believe, for example, someone in aerospace area could bring some success factor for somewhere in banking. And this is so exciting how we see cross-fertilization. And speaking of that, I know that you have a huge and exciting African startup ecosystem. Can you tell us more about this ecosystem and how it brings value to Africa and Morocco especially?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we spoke about, the first venture. Let's now speak about the last venture.
Yeah.
So after creating many startups and, as I say, failing and succeeding, in this journey, I had a chance to meet, some people that, opened for me some doors and helped me, to succeed. And back from Silicon Valley, I organized a first hackathon here in Morocco, in Casablanca. And during this hackathon, I was experimenting a tech platform to see how young developer can use it. So, and the business side, it was just perfect. But during this event, I see myself 15 years before.
Okay.
And I feel like I had to give back to my community. And I decided to create, first of all, an NGO. So this NGO had as objective to inspire youth in technology, or to use technology to build their startup in Morocco, in Africa. So
when was this?
I think it was on latest 2015
Okay.
and beginning of 2016, yes. So with this NGO, so I think till now we organized like more than 150 hackathons.
Okay.
And we inspire more than 50,000 youth in Morocco, in 12 regions of Morocco, but also in some country in Africa.
Let me ask you, because I'm a big fan of airplanes, and one of the airplanes that inspires me the most, in 747, is the hackathon with Royal Air Maroc 747. One of those hackathons?
No.
Okay.
No. We start by this kind of simple hackathon first,
Okay.
where the objective was completely, very simple. You are a student or a young entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur. And during this hackathon, what we teach you is very simple. We are not going to create a business, plan or something like that.
Okay.
It's too much boring, and maybe it's too early. We have to start with a prototype. You have an idea that solves a problem. So let's build a prototype during this weekend with, your friend or other people from different disciplines.
Right.
Marketing, design, coding, management, etc. And the objective of this hackathon at the end is you can pitch your idea behind, a jury.
Okay.
And then after, if you want, you can continue to work on your project. So it was the first, concept of this NGO. The name of this NGO is Hack and Pitch. Hack something quickly and pitch it.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Okay. That's good.
So what happened is very, very quickly after that, I had a company that comes to see me and they ask me to do the same thing inside the corporate. And they say, no way.
Yeah.
No,
Two different mindset.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. They say, why? I say, I don't want, to bring youth. They will work during a weekend for you, and you take a picture with them and you put it in the newspaper. This is not the deal. But if you had a true problem that you want to solve. I will invite, startups that have advanced team that know what they do, and they will solve your problem, but you have to make a contract with them.
Okay.
So at that moment, when I feel that they will say yes, I create Last Startup Station.
Okay.
Who is not an NGO, is a company.
Where we are right now.
Exact. So, and we create a new type of, not a hackathon, but this is something what we call Open Innovation Program. So the concept is very simple. First of all, we try to meet all the people from the C-level of the company to understand the vision of the top management.
Okay.
Then we meet the people in the middle management and the operator to understand what is the problem that they have every day. And we create a vision that we connect between the top management and the worker. And from that, we pick usually 2 or 3 challenges. And after that, we do a call of application for all the startup, not only in Morocco, but in whole Africa.
Okay.
And we select the best startup that have maybe 50, 60 or 70% of the solution, not 100%. Then we bring the worker from the company, we bring the startup during a boot camp or a hackathon, and we let them work together. And they pitch their solution behind the top management. The top management will choose 2 or 3. We help them we facilitate the contract between the startup and the corporate. Mm-hmm. And after that, we start deploying. It means that at the end of the program, we have a true innovation that solves a true problem, deployed inside the company. The startup are paid for that, and they have a reference. And Royal Air Maroc, RAM 747, one was of them.
Okay.
So it was an open innovation program. And
right.
what you see and maybe on YouTube is only the hackathon part.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I like the way you mentioned while talking about hackathon, open innovation, and one of the top topics, let's say, in the Executive Innovation Club that I monitor is open innovation, because corporate, they want to think outside of the box, and they don't accept what we call the not invented here syndrome. It's pretty known nowadays with corporate. That's why, for instance, NASA, a big company that invents a lot, goes to see what's happening outside of the firm, even if they invent. That's why they start getting interested into crowdsourcing, open innovation, doing hackathons and stuff. And this is something that I like, and I believe we will have a lot to discover together in this area. What other open innovation initiatives do you see or do you lead? Is those, maybe another question, is those initiatives that bridge the gap between corporates and startups lead to some merge and acquisitions, or just co-creation?
We had a chance during this 7 last year to do more than 35 open innovation program with different kind of company. So we have a company, a multinational company that are working worldwide. We have also Moroccan big companies that are working on all Africa, but we have also public company that work only in Morocco.
Okay.
So we end up by creating a true, method to succeed in this kind of program. This kind of program is very complex, and there is multiple things that we need to secure in the beginning before we start this kind of program. Okay. What is important for us, or our only KPIs to say if the program is a success or a failure, is to see if the application are deployed truly on the ground after the end of the program.
Okay.
So this is our engagement. So in the first program, it was very complex, and we adjust our method to come up with a true, timeline that help us to achieve that. So during these 7 years, we facilitate more than 100 contracts between startup and this big corporate. Maybe if my calculations are correct, it's more than 4 million euro turnover between this startup and this corporate. Just keep in mind that we are in the Africa ecosystem, where the number can seem small, but it's a huge basis. It's relatively to this ecosystem.
Yeah, that's. And speaking of now that you mentioned Africa, how do you see technology, knowing that you come from this area since 2001? How do you see the technology changing the African landscape, economy, and the society?
So I think that technology in Africa, it's growing, and we need to think completely differently when we come to Africa. We don't have the same challenge between Europe, US, and especially Africa. I will take a very simple example. When you are in Paris, and you click on the button for the lights, you have the lights.
Right.
It seems normal. Yeah. But when you are in a small country in Africa, when you click on the button, you don't have the lights. You don't have the water. You don't have the internet. The things that seems very normal in some country are completely a challenge in other country. This is my first point. My second point, thanks to this challenge that we have in this country, in reality, it's a huge opportunity for innovator. Let's take one example. If we talk about the banking ecosystem, it's a very, the banking sector in Africa is still small. We don't have agency everywhere. And how African solve this challenge? Do you have an idea about that?
No.
Okay. I think you know today what we call mobile money.
Yeah.
Okay. If you remember, mobile money was created in Kenya by a company called M-Pesa. And today mobile money is everywhere.
Everywhere.
So I think that thanks to the challenge that we have in Africa, innovator can create a true solution that solves the problem that we have in Africa. And sometimes this problem, at the end of the day, are a global problem. And they can also be used everywhere, like the mobile money.
Yeah, mobile money is a pretty good example, and I think it's a disruptive one, not just because of the product, but I think because of the business model. And speaking of disruption, one of the biggest kind of innovation is disruptive or incremental. In other words, rather than reinventing the wheel or reinventing or creating a wave, learning to surf. So for you, what is the kind of innovation you favor or you like going based on something that really successful in the market and try to bring value in it, or try to discover new things that never discovered before?
It's a very good question. If you ask me this question as a personal level, I would love to answer, I would love to, invent advanced solution that maybe we stay in the laboratory. But if you ask me as an entrepreneur, I will completely answer this question differently. I will try first to find a true problem that a lot of people, have this problem. and the market size is enough big to start working on a solution to solve this problem. So it's extremely important to invent or create a solution based on the context. Let me take another example. I see a very successful startup in Nigeria, and what they propose is something that maybe never can work in Europe. As you know, farmers in Africa, usually they don't have enough money. So I see an application that help you to share what we call infrastructure. I don't know how we call it in English. Maybe you have the word.
We're on the same boat.
Yeah, it's just the vehicle that help farmers to do what they have to do. So this application was a huge success in Nigeria because we have 1 million of farmers. They don't have enough money, to buy one, but now they can, lease one or loan, one for a moment to do what they have to do. In Europe and the US, we have the bank, we have the states that give you, enough grant to buy your own.
Right.
So this is what is magical in Africa. So you have a different kind of problem, completely different. And so this is why I truly believe that there's a lot of opportunities and there's a lot of space for innovator and entrepreneur to create successful business in Africa. And as we say a few minutes before, maybe a few of this business can go on all the world.
Yeah, and I can confirm that there is a lot of challenges in Africa. And I was one of those entrepreneurs who failed. I failed because I started as an inventor. I invented something that I could save water in domestic lives in 2016. But when it comes to bringing the solution into the market, there's a lot to say in the business model, starting from the clients. If it's a B2B, B2C, it's a lot of things out there. And that's even if we had a lot of prizes from known contests outside, it's not enough. So
it's just the beginning.
That's the beginning. But not all the solution, I believe, this is my belief, not all the solutions, and I want your opinion about this, that may feel like it's revolutionary, they may seem not. It's kind of tricky to think that it's an invention. It's actually an innovation after all. And I saw many prizes that you had, like MIT Startup Track in 2015. So this is something, those kind of prizes you had, for instance, this one, this is something that gives you motivation to go further, gives you visibility outside for investor to attract them. How could this help?
Yeah, definitely, of course. So when you go to, you participate to a contest or a prize, there's different objectives that you want to achieve. First of all, what you bring to the ground is something that need more and more people, and you get more feedback.
Right.
So when I go to a prize or a contest, first of all, I want feedbacks from advanced people that will maybe judge me, but I need their feedback because life is like that. You can be the smartest, people in the world, but if you want to achieve what you want to achieve in the ground, you need, to convince everyone.
Exactly.
So first of all is feedbacks. The second things that are important, if you succeed in this kind of competition and prize, first of all, you will get visibility. And you can use that, in your communication. If you get, for example, some article about that, it will burn the attention of investor and other, partner through your invention or your business. And last but not least, sometimes you can win some money. And as an entrepreneur, you need every money to complete, your work. So, for example, the prize that we got with the MIT, it helped us to get a lot of visibility first. Whenever you say to someone, we have a prize from MIT, they say, okay, I want to get more information about that.
Yeah.
But more than that, I think at that moment we get $10,000.
Okay.
And it helped us to finance, the first 2-3 months in Silicon Valley.
Okay. And thank you for taking us to Silicon Valley. Can you describe us your initial impressions of Silicon Valley and how it influenced your approach to tech entrepreneurship?
Oh, wow. You bring me 7 or 8 years ago. So when I arrived to San Francisco, I take it's like a metro to go to the city.
Okay.
And when I go outside from the metro station, I was completely surprised. You know what?
Why?
I was in Market Street and I was waiting, a lot of building with advanced technology. But what I found is a lot of homeless.
Okay. In Silicon Valley, though.
Yeah, in Silicon Valley. So I went, maybe I'm not in the right city.
You've been thinking money is out on the floor.
Yeah, because, as a Moroccan and entrepreneur, I was just, reading about Google, Facebook, Apple, and this, innovative ecosystem.
Yeah.
I was not, waiting to see that as a first, image.
Yeah, right.
So it was just for kidding.
Yeah, of course.
No, definitely after 2 days, I end up, to go to some pitch event. And honestly, I was surprised about the quality of the entrepreneur and in the bad sense. So I feel like Silicon Valley is a place where a lot of entrepreneurs from all over the world, they go, to try to, get a place for their startup to raise money, etc.
Okay.
But not definitely the best entrepreneur that can go. It's the entrepreneur that they have the money to go. It's different.
Right.
So this is why I was a little bit surprised about, the quality of the project. I feel like I saw a lot of better projects all over the world, and not especially in Silicon Valley.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah, but when you have a very good project that are advanced project, you have a huge chance to succeed in Silicon Valley than the other city in the world.
That's why you brought earlier the African landscape, because there is a lot of challenges there. So maybe looking for challenges in Africa and go to build it in Silicon Valley, because it's more accelerating outside.
Yeah, the ecosystem is more rapid. Okay. There's a bunch of capital. Also, people are well-minded. Okay. The connection is extremely simple. If you want to meet someone, you can just meet him inside an event, say hey, and you can start a discussion. So everything is simple, and people are open-minded. So this is for me the huge quality of the Silicon Valley. There's no barrier. We can dream. We can change the world. This is the magic of the Silicon Valley. So everything is possible.
And speaking of meeting people, I know that you had the chance to meet renowned figures like Bill Gates, Jack Ma. So can you share with us insightful stories or piece of advice following those interactions with those big entrepreneurs?
Yeah, of course. So I had a chance to meet a lot of very known people. For me, meeting them was for me to check if they are human or
Right.
Not a human. No, I was just kidding. No, definitely. I was inspired by their path, and I would love to speak about my meeting with Jack Ma.
Okay.
It was in Togo, in Africa. So I just see in the social network that, the Republic of Togo is organizing a meeting with some African entrepreneur in Jack Ma. And they asked anyone to apply. I applied.
Okay.
I got a call after 2 days. They say, okay, we confirm your profile, but you have to pay your ticket by your own. So it's okay. It's fine. It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
And we end up in the President Palace of Togo. With all the entrepreneurs that was coming from different countries from Africa. And we had this session, like I remember 1 hour 30 with Jack Ma.
Okay.
And he just simply talked about all his story. So we asked him some question. And what was amazing is at the end of the day, he's a human as anyone.
Yeah.
He tried many things to succeed, but a lot of door was closed in behind him. So when he came up with this business of Alibaba,
yeah.
If you listen to the story, you understand that success not come after 1 day, or after 1 month, or after 1 year. It takes him like 10 years to succeed.
Right.
And this is, for me, the most important things that entrepreneurs need to understand. To build a true success, we need times. We need to work very hard. A lot of door will be closed, in your eyes, but it's fine. You need to hack the system to find your path.
Okay.
And for me, the best example of that is a cartoon that usually I like. I don't know if you know the cartoon Bibi Coyote.
Okay. Always following and I think in the last episode he ate it.
Exact.
So that's an exciting example though.
What happened to the coyote every time?
He failed.
Yeah, but what happened after he failed?
He continued and get up and continue to do it
and
again.
Try a new idea.
Yeah,
to solve the same problem.
This is very, very important to mention new idea, because if you're doing the same thing every time, this is just hard work, not a smart one.
Exact. So for me, this is the best example of entrepreneur. Entrepreneur want to success. The success story is the Bibi. We need to catch him. But the coyote, he face a lot of problems. But every time he wake up and he try to solve this problem with a new idea.
Exactly.
And this is the entrepreneur. I want to achieve this milestone.
Right.
So I try, the path 1. It's not working. Let's move to path 2. Not working.
Even if you know you're going to take the train into the face.
Exact. So, yeah. So, and this is what Jack Ma did. He tried many things until he found the way, to connect the people that want to sell stuff with the people that want to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
And the way how he hacked it was extremely, not orthodox, but it's working. What he tried to do, he bought some stuff. He put this stuff in the platform with its with a price less than the market.
Right.
And people start saying, "Wow, I bought this thing, good quality, and the price is very good. What happened?" And, he lost some money in the beginning, but he ended up by creating the right movement, and people believe in his platform. And it's the problem of the egg or chicken.
Yeah.
And this is the way how he solved it. And in every venture, we need to find and to hack the code to advance.
Yeah, and the perseverance or consistency process.
Yeah.
What is exciting is that nothing is lost. Everything is getting transformed. At the end.
Definitely. I think it's Lavoisier that said this.
Exactly.
I like this quote.
And it's real. It's so real because every hard work is getting transformed to something that will bring you value into the next idea.
Exact.
Yeah.
So when you fail in a venture, it's just something that you will transform later in something much better.
Okay. And now I'm gonna take off your entrepreneur hat and the African startups ecosystem builder. Want to address now speech to the business angel you are. Can you tell us about your experience, first and foremost, in Duzam 2M channel, and more specifically the emission, who will invest in my projects, the Shark Tank Moroccan version?
Yeah, this is a long story.
Yeah, please tell us. We're here to hear.
Excellent. So I would love to, to go back few years ago. So when I was entrepreneur and I started my career, I had the chance to participate to a TV show in Duzam.
Okay.
At that time, it was called Challenger. It's before Shark Tank.
Okay.
You can understand that sometimes Africa can create some innovative also TV show before the rest of the world.
Yeah.
So I had a chance to participate to this, program. And this program changed my life completely. I was, as a person, very shy. And I was selected for the semi-final. Then I was the only participant that didn't visit the studios before the show.
Okay.
The show was live behind like 9.5 million people. So when I was, when they call my name and go to the plateau, so the presenter asked me the most simple question in the world. Hello, Mehdi, what is your project?
Yeah.
And my answer was, my project is, and like it was a black hole.
Okay.
For 6 seconds. Behind 9.5 million people.
Wow. In Duzam.
In Duzam. So it means that at that time, one of the third of the Moroccan see my failure.
Yeah. Still a success, though.
Yeah, it's fine. But what I want to say is, thanks to the TV show, I worked on my my problem of communication, and still today, speaking in public is still difficult and stressing for me.
Yeah.
But I think I enhanced my level from that time. So this venture was extremely, important for me. It helped me to fight the way that I was shy. It gave me visibility. It opened for me the doors. And I promised myself that what I get from that, I will give it back to my community one day. Okay. It was in my head. And after after exactly 15 years, because it was on 2005.
You had a vision.
Yeah. After 15 years, I decided to work on something new, but that can open the door for the youth. So I come up with this concept to bring Shark Tank to Morocco. So initially, I sent my deck to them about the concept. Never get any feedback. So I understand that I'm not doing it the right way. So I wait like 1 year more, and I met with a person that was in the Challenger 15 years ago, and she showed me the way how I need to do it.
Okay.
I remember we was just, discussing on the other room, and she says to me, you know what, Mehdi? You need first to create like a pilot. It's okay. A pilot? Okay, let's do it next weekend. And during this 4 or 5 days, we bought the camera, we bought the lights, we invite some business angel, we invite some startup, and we invite a producer, and we all bring them to this place where we're talking right now.
Okay, okay.
And we record like half a day of different scenario. Then we build a 2-minute, like a teaser. And after building this teaser, I did go to find some sponsor first before going back to the TV. So I go and present the concept to some sponsor. One of them say, okay, the idea is good. Let's discuss more. And after 6 months, the sponsor say, yes, I'm completely interested. What's next? So what we did at that time, we go back to the TV channel and we say, okay, we have the teaser, we have the producer, we have the sponsor, we have the business angel, we have the startup. Do you want to do this concept? They say yes.
Of course. Of course.
But you have to buy the license from Shark Tank. We say, okay.
Okay.
Second, you have to do it in Moroccan dialect. You have a huge number for the audience. It's okay.
20 million.
Exact. And last but not least, I don't want to listen about technology. I want to have a project that not showcase technology, but showcase true problems that people have.
Interesting.
Yeah. And these 3 advice was completely good because this is how we succeed on the TV show. And the 2 episodes we secured more than 20 million of people that see the show. It's like 1 Moroccan out of 2 that see the show. It's much more than M6 where the audience is like only 25% of that. This is show that Moroccan and African people, they believe on entrepreneurship and they are looking for that.
Right.
We just need to help them to do it.
Yeah, and I was following the channel for your emission since it starts and it was so exciting, not just because I'm coming from the entrepreneurial technology landscape, but it's because also for someone who never talk technology language, it's real, it's the same language as any Moroccan can understand. And I saw it was for me so obvious when you decide to invest in a company or a startup or not. But I know there is a lot of process in your mind at the moment. It was, I think, a fast one. So what do you look in startups before deciding to invest?
Yeah, definitely. I had the chance to pitch behind more than 100 investors in my old, startup. So usually, at the end of the pitch, you're upset because you can't get, the money that you need for your venture. But you try to understand what is not working and you try to enhance that. And when I changed the position, I was just using the same algorithm. First of all, what you look in the project is, the founding team. It's extremely important to work with, smart people, humble people that listen, advise. This is extremely important. We need to have a team that have complementary, backgrounds. Someone from the tech, someone from the business, someone from the marketing, at least. Making a success in a startup is very complex. So you need a team. The team, as I said, that have different backgrounds. we need also to check that the team can work together. It's not easy to find a co-founder. It's easy to find it, but it's not easy to work with him years and years. It's important to check the value of these teams.
Okay.
And this is for me, the first point. A smart team can succeed in a different project, where if you choose only the project with the bad team, definitely they will fail. But a good team can pivot, can change the project and adjust it with the advice of the investor and other people to succeed. So this is why the team is extremely important. The second thing, we look that the problem that they want to solve is a true problem. It's not only their problem.
Okay.
It's very important. It means that the size of the market is enough big to work on it. Another criteria is also the business model, because with the same solution, we can have a different business model.
Exactly.
So how we can find the right business model that can make enough revenue for the future.
Right.
So there's other criteria, but for me, this is the most important one. So in the show, I was trying to listen in, to how, the team is bringing the problem, what is the solution, what are their background, what is the size of the market. Sometimes, without this information, I just can't, understand or invest. And also, I was trying to understand how the other investor is, analyzing the same situation. Because if I just want to, take my own opinion, is not good. So I try to check, the opinion of the other.
Okay.
Because as a business angel, we invest as a group.
Okay.
So we need, to check that the other business we are compatible, and to check the other things that I didn't see, to be sure that we can truly help them.
Yeah, three brains is better than one. And speaking of brain, and I know you're a visionary person, because where you are today, you saw it, as you told me, 15 years before. And that's so exciting. I believe you have a vision of the future. What is your vision of the future of Africa startup continents, as you call it, for the next 5 to 10 years?
Wow, it's a very complex question. Yeah, what I can say is by 2015, more than half of the young population will be in Africa.
Okay.
So, very important things. Access to, internet and device like smartphone, laptop is well now advanced in Africa. These young people, they will live with a smartphone on their hand. I truly believe that if we as government, as countries, we train our youth on technology, Africa will provide the new fuel of the world, who is, let's say, this brain that will, create software and everything about technology. So we will have a huge young population that are hungry,
Okay.
that want to achieve big things. And if we just help them with training in technology, we can, as a continent, do something big in the world. So this is a first point. A second point is, we say it in the beginning, there's a lot of challenge that are still not solved in Africa. And these challenges are opportunity for all the world. Yeah, so if we take our responsibility as country, as government, we can make that possible.
Very, very exciting as a vision, and create a line. And there's things that may seem obvious, but when you hear it from someone who succeeds, it's more confirming and ensuring. I think we are in the end of the podcast, and this is a question that I ask all my guests. But for you, it's going to be into two questions. It's more about advices. The first question is more, what are the advices that you can give to corporate, not just startups? And secondly, what advices you can give to startups, young startups and youth in general?
Yeah, this is the more simple question.
Yeah, right.
Thank you for this question. Innovation is not only done by the people that are inside, a corporate. More brain you have that are outside from the company, more you will find, new solution to serve the same problem.
Right.
So think out of the box can be done with people, especially, entrepreneur and startup. They can come with new idea, and they can implement this solution inside the company quickly. And this is why I invest a lot on open innovation. And I truly believe that open innovation is this kind of program that can solve a lot of issue inside corporate in less time and less money, and a very brilliant, solution. So I completely believe on that. This kind of solution didn't cost a lot of money. At the end of the day, you work with startup. It's a good moment from the employee of the company, because they meet new people, they have new idea. And at the same times, it creates a huge value added. As I say in the beginning, we work with more than 35 programs of open innovation. And if I take just one example, I remember one of the CEO that they say, oh wow, how we was able to create 60 prototypes in a weekend, where usually one prototype takes us 2 years.
Okay.
So this is the true value of open innovation. And one of the countries that succeed on that is US. Europe is still not succeeding on open innovation, but it's coming. For the second question about entrepreneur, usually the most important is to stay in the battle. The ones that win the battle is not the one that I have more, more ammunition, or they are smart, or they are quick. It's the one that never, stop fighting. As the example of the BB coyote, we need a lot of perseverance, we need a lot of resilience. And for me, this is the two most important advice for an entrepreneur. He needs to find different solution and continue to pivot until he find, the right way to solve the problem. If I had to take a very visual example, let's imagine, this co-founding team trying to open, the door of un coffre-fort. They just need to listen.
Yeah.
And do some fine-tuning on their solution until they listen that the market is more open and open for them. And this is how it works. The initial idea usually is good, but to bring to the market is extremely complex. So we need to listen to the market to understand what the customer wants. And at the end of the day, the best product and the best solution usually is the client that talk about that. For example, here in La Startup Station, during the 7 years, we never go and knock on the door of a client. Never. Because when we execute a program with a client, they talk about us.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exact. This is the best product possible.
Thank you so much for those insights that will open eyes, I believe. It opened mine anyway. And looking forward to see you in another forum, maybe a round table with other innovation leaders. It was, I have to say, it was a very exciting podcast for, once again, many reasons, the space and your exciting stories. And thank you so much for watching this episode once again, and see you again for another innovation podcast.